Alright, here we are again, 20 weeks out. As you could see from my favorite lift there, it was just a nice light little squat. And a little bit of what made me want to go to the doctor was this week was from a little bit of this deadlift session that didn't go so great, but I also didn't plan on moving 5 yards of dirt and cutting trees and all sorts of stuff. So I probably should have stopped here or probably not even gone as heavy as 572. But I got stupid and decided to take 600 for a ride and felt something in my hip again, of course. And then I missed it even more gloriously right there. And then, yeah, couldn't do anything. So day one was a crap show. All right, so this is the part of the video where I'm going to stop and talk about this ultrasound that you see. This is of my right hip. I had been doing chiropractic work to keep my pelvis squared away, and I started doing some physical therapy to help get my hips more loosened up and less painful and shitty. And what was weird, I felt after a few weeks of physical therapy, the pain was getting worse and the shift was getting worse in my hip. So I ended up making a doctor's appointment with one of my DOs who I find absolutely awesome. And he went in there, he x-rayed the hips, no arthritis, thankfully. Then he ended up doing an ultrasound and finding that I had calcium buildup right at the ball socket area where the hip flexor touches it. So every time I get into a squat position or basically a hinge position, that little calcium is kind of rubbing up into the labrum area, I guess, for a lack of knowing medical terms of shit. So he ended up doing an injection, pinpoint with the ultrasound and the injection. He goes in, he directly goes right into it while using the ultrasound to be right on top of it, kind of breaks it up with the needle, then he injects it with something and it kind of breaks up and it dissipates through my body. So it's been 6 days since I've had the injection. No, I'm sorry, 5 days. And I'm already feeling way, way better. I took 3 days off from training altogether, 2 days for sure, because of that's what he recommended. Then I got caught at work for a 24-hour shift and ended up not being able to train at all. But I was able to come back the next day. I did some light tempo squats, as you'll see, and some really light deadlifts. And I had zero pain, as well as I was able to go to physical therapy and get a good training session in with some more proper warm up exercises that the therapist wants me to do before squats and deads and stuff like that. So I think I'm finally out of the woods. I have a good team of people around me to help me get better. Now it's just up to me to stay healthy and do what they recommend to get better. So uh, that's it for this week in a sense of what's going on with this hip issue. So I will get back to the rest of the videos. All right, picking things back up here, day two. I decided to do this neutral feet up bench thing because I had the injection in my hip the day before. Doctor said take it real easy on the hip. So I figured I kind of do all the things that I don't like to do is this type of feet up, and I hate neutral bar grip and I hate dead stops, so I figured I would just kind of party with it, and getting out of there is extremely horrible as well. But a lot of lat engagement, a lot of pec engagement, so kind of did the best I could with what I had. I really wanted to do absolutely nothing with hips, so I didn't want to do anything standing really. Just kind of a really, really light day. Did some pull downs, different variations, pretty easy on myself. So this day three was 2 days after. So my day two was Tuesday. This day three was Friday because I got stuck at work for over 24 hours. And then the next day, I just didn't want to chance anything, but I figured I'd come in and test out the hip. And I did some tempo squats per what my physical therapist wanted me to do. And everything felt really, really good. I've never done tempo squats before. It's really kind of against everything I've ever been taught. But what I'm liking about this is I'm forcing the rooting of my feet, and I am kind of consciously forcing my body to squat with, I guess, more brain, if you could say it that. I'm just being more conscious of what I'm using to squat. And I decided to do a little bit of deadlifts, and I decided, you know what, let me try this rooting thing with deadlifts because I've never really done it before, but I kind of picked it up pretty quick from my physical therapist. And I gotta say, I'm kind of feeling it. I feel way more glute activation when I go to perform these lifts. So I'm kind of excited that maybe this injury kind of forced me to learn something that maybe I knew at one time and forgot, or I just never knew it, but I kind of did it. I don't really know. You don't know what you don't know until you don't know it. So moving on to the last day of the week here was overhead day. I decided to just kind of do some volume stuff, just try to hit some sets of fives for everything. But this was on Saturday. I didn't want to go super heavy because on Sunday is like day one of my next week. So I didn't want to miss out on anything this week if I could help it. But I still wanted to not ruin my next day's lifting. So kind of came in, just did a bunch of stuff that I could do. I didn't video a lot of it, but I just wanted to get my main stuff in. So all in all, the week started out really shitty, but I think ended up really, really in a good place. On to next week. Thanks for watching.